everybody. Yeah, we're going to be talking about success. What is success to you? I think that's a really good question.
Right.
Money. What's your relationship to it? And how important is money? Money in society? I'm literally reading it, and it's fabulous. And yeah, talent versus hard work. So,
can we clink to the beginning of this discussion, ladies?
amen.
Amen.
Cheers. I think this is how we keep our
sounds like
conversation.
success.
Right?
Yes.
It's crystal, people.
It's crystal.
So success.
Tastes like money too.
Tastes like money. Well, you did almost win $43 million today.
Well, this is a funny thing. I didn't actually win money. They just tried to tease me because I went to buy something with Miss Lady Andy. And you know, the machine went ding ding ding, like I won the lottery.
Yeah.
So they hand me this paper and they tell me that I could win alcohol for a year.
Honestly, the feeling I got, I heard the stuff goes like that's how they get you in casinos.
Psychology.
Casinos, exactly.
Yeah.
I hear ding ding ding. I'm like, what's happening? And I see 43 million flash on the screen. I'm like, we won 43 million for putting our bank card inside. How awesome is that? That would be success to me.
Winning $43 million?
Because I put my bank card somewhere.
Well, I put 25 cents one day in a slot machine,
Yeah.
walked away, and the security came after me. I'm like, I didn't do anything. He's like, no, you just won $500.
What?
Okay, so what's the markup on that? That's awesome.
I don't know,
That's
but
nice.
I have a horseshoe up my ass at the casino.
That's amazing.
Well, what are we
I'm
doing
a
here?
gambler.
Why are we here?
Why are we talking?
This podcast will be cut short.
You will be catching us at the casino next
Live.
time, live and direct.
Fuck that, because if I win, we'd be on a plane next.
That's it.
That's
What would you guys do if you won the lottery? $40 million. Tomorrow you win $40 million. What would you do?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm asking.
First of all, I would sleep for I would just sleep for 3 days.
We're here?
Girl, I don't care. I would just say I can fall asleep here because I have $43 million. So I'll sleep wherever I choose to sleep. And I'll sleep for 3 days. And I'll just take it in and take a really good bath. And then afterwards, I honestly would go and enroll for a class. I would be like, I can afford it, no problem. I'll get someone I know is a good tutor to help me understand what to do with my money.
Okay.
Wow,
And then while I'm planning, but hold on, I could be taking this class in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Mhm.
With a
You
drink in
know,
your hand.
I could be in Nigeria village. I could be in Thailand. I could be anywhere I freaking want, man. You know?
Yeah.
That's right.
It's true.
But that's what I'd want to say I do.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, so if I won $40 million?
Yeah, tomorrow.
If I won
43.
if I won $43 million,
Yeah.
holy mother of God, I would probably first and foremost cry for a bit because I'm just too damn happy. And then
You best be calling me to tell me you won $40 million.
Yo, we would. I would definitely invest in taking a much needed trip somewhere. I've always dreamt of going to Brazil, so like I would get on trying to plan that. Not even trying to plan it because I have enough money to be like, we out.
Girl, you ready? You need to pack your toothbrush. Just pack.
I mean, I'd love to travel. I would actually invest in helping my parents out, like so that they don't have to stress about money either. I would try to do the honorable thing before I splurge and go crazy around the world and be really selfish with my money. I think that'd be like a good thing to do, and I'd invest in my music. You know, maybe like set up a dope studio where I could just do my thing. But you know what? The day I won $43 million, like I said, I'd probably just cry the whole day about it.
Can I ask you something? How do you feel right now? Just thinking about it.
Honestly, I feel giddy.
It's exhilarating, right?
Just thinking about it, I feel good. I like it. I like the thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that it's very interesting that we came to talk about, you know, what you do if you won that amount of money, because I think that success to me is being able to do what you would do if you were a millionaire.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like in the sense that, like, for instance, you know, now I work, I'm an actor, you know, I act, I sing, I dance, I'm an artist, you know, that's what I do. and I'm living off of that. So to me, this is successful.
Mhm.
This is being successful. So if I won $43 million, I would be like, amazing, you know, like, you know, we're all set, we're good, no worries ever about money, you know.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was working at the bank, 2 years ago, I was like, if I won money, what would I do? It would just be that I would go and live my life through my art.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So to me, being successful is really asking. I think that the easiest way to find out what you want to do is, okay, if you were a millionaire, what would you do?
Mm-hmm. If you didn't have to worry about money ever,
What would you do?
be doing? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And I think it helps you.
That wouldn't work for me. Because if I think about that, the stuff that I'm thinking, I need money for it. And I need a lot of money for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But doesn't it gear you towards what kind of, profession, what kind of
Well,
guide?
I think my aspirations as far as like career-wise, I would need an investment of money.
Okay, yeah.
And the things I would want to do for leisure definitely require a lot of money.
Like what?
And the clothes that I want requires a lot. And everybody knows the shoes I want require a lot of money.
Money.
Just the closet alone
Mm.
would require money.
Yeah.
The closet,
The laundry
where
on
the closet
clothes.
would be, would require a lot
But
of
that's
money.
it. So say you win $40 million, $43 million, Sybil. What would you do with it?
First of all, I'd call all of y'all. And I tell you, okay, listen, you gotta trust me. You gotta meet me in an hour. That's it.
Pack your
No
bags.
questions asked. Do you trust me? That's it.
Yeah.
I would tell Dee she's gotta say bye to Gap for a week. Lady Andy, you'd have to say bye. Isa?
You know I'd be here when you win anyways. I'd be like,
I'm just saying. I think first and foremost, a few bottles of champagne would be popped.
Yeah.
Then I think I'd rent a private jet. And then, I don't know, it would depend where you guys would like to go pop some more bottles of champagne. I don't know, Paris, I don't know,
We
somewhere.
popped so many bottles of champagne. Water would be like a luxury.
Then
The water.
then I think I would have to go on a little shopping spree, do more celebrating. Then, of course, I'd go open an account somewhere that's not here. Put some of my money there. Then I'd probably invest in 2 or 3 businesses. And then I'd buy myself some property. And probably a vineyard.
oh,
Because
I
it's
like
about
it.
success, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I would definitely help some people in my life, special people
Yeah.
that I love.
Mhm.
I definitely save some money.
Yeah, savings,
Yeah.
definitely. Because that's the thing. That's the scary thing. I'm really happy that you guys mentioned, investment. And Lady Andy mentioned, one of the first things you do is go sit down with someone to figure out what you want to do with your money. Because I watched some shows. There was this show where they document people who were homeless, who win an incredible sum of money, and within a year,
They're
they're right back to being,
if not worse.
Girl, not even homeless.
Yeah.
Look, you look at guys and athletes.
Yeah.
You know, they
God.
get signed very, very young.
Mhm.
And some of them don't come from, they don't have money to begin with. They're in college and they have all this money and fame and they go right through it because they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And also there's a flip side to hiring people,
Yeah.
Right.
because they tell you to invest in stock, invest in this, invest in that.
Mhm.
And, all of a sudden you find yourself with even more debt because you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And it happens even to, athletes that, are millionaires and now they're like, their careers
They're
are done
broke,
and
that's
they're
it.
broke.
Well,
And
I read
same with
about.
artists in music,
Yeah.
like it happens.
I read something really heartbreaking a couple years ago about Allen Iverson. He's
Yeah.
actually one of my favorite. Actually, hold on. He is my favorite basketball player with all his drama and
That's
everything.
another episode.
That's another episode. He
between
is.
you and me.
Yes.
Yeah.
A nice time between us. And and I remember a couple years ago I went to this seminar. I think almost everyone ends up at the seminar eventually. It's called The Millionaire Mind. And at the time, I had this whole different viewpoint about money, and I came out of it thinking, oh, this is very interesting, cool method, blah, blah, blah. But something stuck with me, and they were like, the only thing that stuck with me was, what is your relationship with money? and they were stressing on that. And I was like, what the hell does that have to do with it? You have it, you don't have it. Like, there's a relationship with money. And I know that I was just saying this the other day, sometimes I get more stressed out when I have money than when I'm really broke.
Not me.
Like, when I've been broke, I get to a point of clarity where I'm just like,
zero is zero. No, I'm not good. I'm a wreck, actually.
I just understand. I'm like, I'm here, but I'm still here.
But I see what you're saying.
I don't.
But when I do, I can have tens of thousands of dollars, and those are the times I am actually more stressed. Like, yes, I get more stressed. So I had to acknowledge that. I was like, this is crazy. This is a crazy cycle. It is a relationship with money. And I recognize where it came from. I don't want to dig too much. It's all good. But people really do have weird things with money.
But money is a tool, okay? It's a tool, but we kind of made it into a deity. Is that a word? Like into a god, you know?
Yeah.
And there's a curve between how happy you are and how much money you have, you know? And as soon as all your needs are met and you live in a good house, you can send your kids to the schools that you want, and as soon as you've reached that space, more money than that makes you unhappier. If we go back to like the athletes, okay? You know, it's like, you come from a background, broken family, let's say your parents didn't have money, you have a single parent, etc., like difficult situation. And then you can take that money, elevate your family, elevate yourself, and so on and so forth, right? Okay. But the thing is, you don't have financial knowledge, okay? You have the added pressure that you're the first person in your family that's bringing in big bucks. Like, I'm talking big bucks, like millions of dollars, you know? It becomes, if you don't know how to use it, the tool becomes a burden. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know people like this. Imagine people who actually make it out, and how everybody around them, because everyone has a relationship with money. Now, everybody around them now turns to them for support. And there's no amount of money that you can have to save or help everybody. You hear about these stories all the time. I know people like that, and like, I look at them, I'm like, and I know I go through those periods, and I'm like, whoa, that's a whole relationship with money. But please, I really want to hear what you had to say.
No, I was just going to say I've been on both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
And I can only speak for myself. But struggling, for me, is way more stressful than having money in the bank.
Right.
And I would not trade it. But the thing is that personal issues do not get solved with anything.
Yeah.
Meaning, that's the problem. It's not money. I don't believe money is root of all evil.
No.
Personally.
It's our relationship.
It's our relationship.
No, it's our relationship with ourselves. So if you're a fucking shit person to begin with, you're still going to be a shit person with money.
Yeah.
Okay? If you were a good person before you had money, you're probably still going to be a good person. You'll know, you'll be generous. You'll know what to do with that money.
Yeah.
So to me, it has nothing to do with that. People that say that is because they don't. The problem is their relationship with themselves. So if you got issues, money's not going to solve it.
Yeah.
It's just like when they say, losing weight.
Yeah.
If you have insecurities inside and you've not solved that, losing weight's not going to solve that.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? Money is the same thing.
But that's usually why I feel that if someone who has a problem like with losing weight, like for them there's a thing, right? And they think that, because I've seen that too. I've seen a model, and I was like, holy shit, she was gorgeous. And she's like, I lost 200 pounds in a year or something like that. I was like, that's crazy. Or she was at 200 and something, and she was a model. And she was off her freaking rockers. And she was just like, I thought that if I lost weight, everything would be solved. And I still have the same problem.
No,
and
that's,
she was like,
that's
hanging off a thread, you know?
That's
that's what I wanted to say. The thing is, see, when you look at people that are really greedy and money is before anything,
right?
Okay? Actually, the issue is not the money.
No.
It's them.
Yeah.
They're making up for something.
Yeah.
They're chasing that paper.
Right.
but they're actually chasing something within themselves that's empty. If you don't, you don't have the money, you feel a certain way, and you put money above everything as if it's a god.
Yeah,
as above people. The issue is not the money. The issue is the person.
Right.
So to go back to that, like honestly, if I have to choose between struggling, and having money, I'm going for money. And actually, I am less stressed when I have money in the bank. On both sides, there's always issues that come with that.
Yeah.
You could have a whole bunch of money, and then all of a sudden there's all these people around you, and you feel very alone.
Yeah.
And you have trust issues and all kind of stuff that comes with it. But now, relationship-wise with the money, I don't think it's really with yourself.
I do relate to what you were saying when you're saying that it's really inside, what's happening inside, because I have been in situations where I felt broke. I'm there, I'm stressed about money, I'm wondering when's the next paycheck coming, I'm not going to be able to pay everything that I have to pay, and then I go check my bank account, and I'm like, I'm actually all right. Like, I've been stressing for the last week, but it's not a money thing. I've been in situations where I've had less money and been more relaxed because my state of mind was not there. But whenever I get into that zone where I'm like, I'm really lacking, that's all I start seeing, and it really feeds that fire. And I've been in situations where it shocks me, where it's like, I actually have money, but I feel broke. That's weird.
I think that's an influence of the society we live in, too. Where it's like your status as a person, just as a human being, has to do with money. Socially, and also if you don't have, you can't have. Here, where we live, in North America, it's about quantity. It's not about quality, it's about quantity. So we are almost brainwashed, and the system is set up in the way that it stresses us. If we don't work like slaves, because we are, that's what we're doing, unfortunately. And we don't work like crazy. We don't meet these criteria to be able to live with basic things. Like just have a roof over your head, eat, and whatnot. And now it's like our luxuries, we don't even see them as luxuries anymore. Having a cell phone is not a luxury. Having a computer is not a luxury anymore.
It's
Having
a necessity.
A car is not a luxury anymore. We're set up in a way where we have to have money.
Well, more things. We need to have more things.
And it's never enough. And then there's a whole social aspect of it. And like it or not, we're all influenced by it, one way or another. Some more than others.
Someone actually told me this a while ago. He said to me, you're just dissatisfied. You have a dissatisfaction about you, about other things. You're using money, but that's where your focus is. That's why it's very uncomfortable for you. But pay attention to where you always say not enough. And it's because we think, okay, I have this value. It might be in the plus or the minus. It could be I'm minus in this student debt, and credit card, plus I have my home. I need to have this to make my home. I need to have this for this, and this. And you have this number you write down, and you feel like you always have to have that number. And some people cannot even look at that number.
Yeah, because it gives them anxiety, stress, all kind of stuff.
Because they're like, I don't have enough. But you're still here. You're still here. How many times have you said, I don't have enough, and the floor is going to open up beneath me, but you're here.
Yeah, but it's designed that way.
It's designed that way, and you're going through this roller coaster of emotion where you're like, I'm going to, and then it's like, oh, some solution came. And he said that feeling, it's the feeling you're having that you're perpetuating with money. And it shows up in other places in your life. Pay attention. Girl, I'm still deciphering that.
But that's really deep. Lady, and that's really deep. But I also think that there's, like you said, Sibs, it's about quantity.
Like in North America, that's what it is.
Quantity. So have more of more. And
not necessarily quality of life, though.
No. And it's just like, you need two cars, you need this, and you have two cars, you need to change the cars. It just never stops.
Bigger house.
Yeah, and it's just, I find that the fact that money runs the world, but when I went to school, like in high school, okay, there wasn't a financial class. There wasn't anything about how to make a budget, how to use a credit card, how does a mortgage work?
No.
How does interest work on a credit? You know what I mean? But they throw you out in the world.
But
where
they want that. It's designed that way.
I know, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
how messed up it is.
Yeah, it's really
you know?
messed up.
It's like we teach you how to read and write and count because you need that.
Yeah.
But the financial knowledge is also something we should be taught as kids.
That's
you
the
know?
thing.
Yeah.
I remember being so frustrated when I got my first job, and then in the mail one day I get this letter, giving me, I guess, the pay slip and whatever for my taxes, and I'm like, okay,
What's
what's
that?
this? Like, I've never seen this in my entire life. I don't know what it is, and to realize, like, I really had to go out and ask, and thank God I have great people around me who guided me. But I mean, how many people out there have no idea, what's going on? They haven't done their taxes in like 10 years because they don't know.
They don't know.
They don't know. They don't know how to go about it.
No, go ahead.
I don't want to sound, I will sound a bit utopian, but the very fact that I know it's part of life that we live in now, and it's good to take care and manage your stuff, but the fact that you feel that you are responsible to open up and respond to X or Y or Z person just for being here.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
for being here,
I'm
just for
with you.
doing, and I know it's a big, like, it's just this big
It's a
thing,
stretch.
but it's like someone I love said to me once, he was always like this. He was like, oh, I have to, and 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 I have to. And it's like, well, why don't you just go sleep? And he was like, because I have to, you have to make a living. And for some reason in that moment, I was like, but you were born as you yourself. You didn't have to do anything. You just were. But somewhere along the line, it seems like you have to do something to own life.
But that's
Yeah,
the thing.
that-
That's the society we live in.
That was me for years.
It's a
That's
little
it.
far.
But I mean, we're the only creatures
that
on
do
this
that.
planet who pay to live here. Everyone else, they get it. All the other animals are like, yo, we chilling. We got our food. We got everything we need.
Some days it sucks, some days it doesn't.
Well,
I get eaten.
know
I guess
what?
that's where it comes from.
Yeah, we are a product of our society. Like what you just described, Lady Andy, is that's all I did was work.
You
Yes.
were a workaholic.
Yeah, workaholic, money. It was really not balanced out.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I had to have a brutal awakening for that to change.
Right.
I lost both of my parents, and
Yeah.
that last year that I could have spent with my father, actually,
Yeah.
that kept saying, you never know, this and that. Ironically, he was also a workaholic, but he said we have to spend time together. I'm like, oh come on, this and that, and I was just working like 18 hours, just work, and he passed away suddenly. It's something I regret. I don't regret many things in my life.
Yeah.
And after that, it kind of balanced me out in the sense that I realized that, it's not worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And which is a little ironic because I do believe in quality of life.
Yeah.
And I got really caught up moving back to America. I was living in Europe.
Yeah.
Where it's very different. Actually, they're more about quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
Even, people take the time to eat lunch.
Mm-hmm.
They get more time off for their vacation.
They have smaller cars.
Yeah,
smaller-
they take the time. You appreciate the nice things in life, and it could be expensive things.
You
Yeah.
taste your
But
food. You taste your
food,
wine.
you take time to sit down with people and eat
Yeah.
and drink, even if it's champagne and caviar. It doesn't matter. My point is that it's quality, and it's still the Occidental world.
Yeah.
They still make a lot of money,
Mhm.
but the structure is different. They appreciate quality of life over quantity.
Yeah.
So, like in Europe, if you make more money, you'll actually have better quality of life.
Yeah.
Whereas it won't be maybe as big as it is here, And coming back here, I got really caught up in that, like severely. And, I had to learn that in a really, really drastic way.
Yeah.
And it's really not worth it.
I feel like every culture, every world goes through, like every place goes through that moment.
Yeah.
Like Europe went through that big, like
Yeah.
hunger
Yeah.
stage. It exploded across the continent in all these different revolutions, and I'm not going to go there. But
That's another conversation. Why the mentality's like that there.
yeah,
I think it has to do with a lot of things.
Yeah.
I think North America's based a lot on money.
mhm.
It's the American dream.
Yeah.
But the people here are shifting in focus. More people are starting to speak a different language.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where I start to see the American dream translating in another culture, adopting it personally,
Mhm.
is I'm seeing it in Africa. And I've heard a few people say things like, which is going to shock people, that but Africa is going to be the next big economy. Whatever conversation about Asia, they're saying, and we're seeing it, and I go back home and I see the change in mentality, and it's like there is now a culture in the period of time from which I grew up there and here now of busyness. What you were describing, Sybil. You're busy. You're always busy, doing something, and they're always. It's like they're now living off this. Like if they're the busier they are, the more better they are as human beings.
Busy equates to success now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're busy, then you're successful, right?
And you're too busy to do the things that were ingrained culturally. It's crazy. Sorry, go ahead.
What is success to you guys? Like really, like to each one of you, the definition of success.
I think my notion of success has changed. I when I started out just thinking of being a singer and being an artist and whatnot, at first I was like, I would look at Beyonce and I was like, if I'm not Beyonce by the time I'm 18, I am an ultimate failure. Like, that's it. Like, give up. That's it. You know?
Stop it.
Just stop it. But like now, I realize that success to me is doing what I love and doing it well and being able to not only survive but live well. You know, be able to pay my bills and have money on the side to, you know, go out or plan trips or do the stuff that I enjoy that don't involve work at all. I think success is the freedom to pursue my interests and being recognized by my peers, like in my field. I think it's really important to me to be recognized by the people that I work with as being, you know, a solid artist and being a solid person in general. And I think down the line, being able to reach as many people as possible through my art, through music, through, you know, however I can impact the world, I think that's gonna, you know, I can die a happy woman. Yeah, I think that's what success is to me. And also, I'm serious, I want to be wealthy. You know what I mean? I don't want to just be rich and then see the money disappear, but I want to be able to leave enough money so that my kids and my grandchildren and their kids can live well.
Yeah. So do you equate personal and money to the word success?
I think it's part of my path not to focus on money so much. Like everything I've done so far, I've been able to, like, money's come in. When I was focused, when I've done something from really the depths of my heart, whenever I've pursued something and I put all my energy into it and I pursued it with passion, money's come back to me. So I'm thinking indirectly, yes, money is involved, and actually directly too. It's true that with success, honestly, I would like to have some money in the bank.
Right.
Know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's what you know. It's like almost like a tempo for you.
Yeah.
It's been your truth.
Yeah.
Because right now where we are living, you do require some kind of money to exchange for the ability to shower in the morning and show up here and have this conversation and do this fun stuff.
Yeah. And take the metro,
you know, the internet bill, however you get it, whatever.
Yeah.
You are using money to do this. But there was a time when there are some people that believed that for them to get even the basics, for them to continue to breathe, that were probably our ancestors, all of us here at some point had to be slaves. And it's no longer their tempo. We're not tempoed to that.
Mm-hmm.
There are some people who feel that they cannot even imagine what you're talking about. Like, for them, screw you and all your happy, joy. They have to go to this place and talk to this crusty-ass person and deal with this stupid person and be miserable for 8 to 10 to 15 hours to 12, whatever hours a day they have going on.
It
You know,
on the reality,
it's your tempo.
That's
you have
it.
a tempo going.
But I had that tempo. I was working at a bank I worked at a bank for 8 years, and the last 2 years were like going to hell every morning.
Right.
You know? And I think that a lot of us are caught up in that, and once you break free, but honestly, what happened is that there was a change of my mentality before I left. Like there was a shift in me before you
took the leap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know? And to me, being successful is pretty much like Asa said, but it's really about being free. You know, I think about all the places in the world where the same person as me, the same, you know, a young black woman can't afford any of the dreams that I have, any of the liberties that I have every day. You know, so it's like jumping from that board to where I want to go. You know, I think that's success. And I think something that we tend to kind of not see with success is allowing the space for your notion of success to change through time.
Or even to know what it is, to just sit in it.
Yeah.
To feel what it is. It's like we might be graduating from a place of being in school, you know, and like having to work this amount so that you can balance everything out, to just maybe going somewhere else and you're not in school anymore and you're not having to smell like grease all the time, to getting what you need by going to this place for X amount of time. But it's always a step. There's always a step. It's not, I'm not talking necessarily about success, but there's movement in life for some people. Some people move in the direction of what they want and they move backwards and they move forward. But
most people,
But everybody.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for everyone because I don't even know what everyone feels like. But for me, it's like I've come to a place where I recognize the patterns that are playing out, and I'm also recognizing that I'm here. And I'm trying to stop doing the beating myself up process of even waking up in the morning. So in the morning you wake up and you're like, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you didn't do this, you don't have this, you don't do this. Like now for me, that storyline has stopped as much as possible. It still happens. And I actually recognize that I'm in a place where I can start shooting my new vision of where I want to be and move towards it. And it's because I actually have presence in my own life. So I'm not just blasting forward like, a million miles an hour.
There's something about that adrenaline, though.
There is, and there absolutely is.
But what's success to you, Lady Andy?
For me now, because I just to touch on, to just go with the adrenaline that you were talking about, there's value in that, and some people live for that, and to leave and to allow people their space to live for that, because some people parachute forward and then they bungee jump back and then they parachute forward, and it's just their path, and they're living that for a reason. Personalities, soul path, whatever you want to call it, you know. For me, I've done that. And it feels like it's not pleasurable for my being anymore. Maybe in 5 years, maybe in 3 months, maybe in 10 years, I'll be like, let's go jump off a cliff, you know. But my ass is tired. You know, really, I'm tired, and I prefer now to say, tomorrow when I wake up in the morning, I want to feel good about being here. I want to feel good about, and I'm actually struggling with that. Like, I want to feel like I don't need to beat myself up because I'm taking a shower. Like, what am I doing? What else could I be doing now? Because my days are jam-packed with action and activity, and the dividends aren't playing off. So to me, success would be knowing I have clarity. Okay, I'm going to do this now, and I'm going to be okay, because if I do this and then I choose to do that and I choose to do this, I'm in the perfect place, or not the right place at the right time.
It's taking your time.
Doing and creating, like engaging myself, my higher self, my clarity, my passion, what are my resources? Where do I move them? Like, who can I call? For me, success would be to have a phone call with a friend. And, you know, like, I feel good in this conversation. I had 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, and we got to talk, and I feel good when I hang up, because I didn't go, shit, I should have done this, that.
So while you're talking to your
moment.
friend, you're thinking about the next thing you're supposed to. So being present, being in the moment.
Being able to be present. That's, to me, I have had to tear off all the exterior ideas of what success is for now, so I can cope and like focus on what it feels like. And that would be successful to me. And knowing that even if I'm not reaching every single goal I have, that it's okay, I'm going to reach it. Because by the time I get there, I'm going to be thinking about something else that I want anyway, which has been it's been the pattern. So why not take control of it and have fun with that? So that's it. That's it for me. I don't know how it's working, but
We'll let you know on the next episode.
for the sake of not going to Douglas and be like, yeah, you're my pusher, you know what I mean? Like, for me not to show up there and be like, I can't do this no more. For me, that's important for me, to be happy and have a life. On, ironically, the 50th floor of the nicest building or in a little shack.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you're broke and you're like, I don't understand. I'm really broke, but I'm in the Ritz-Carlton right now.
Right.
And they are treating me like a princess. So money really is not necessarily a reflection of success or having people applaud me for what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's nice, you guys appreciating what I do feels good.
Bam.
Yeah,
Cool.
You're my peers. I respect y'all.
That's it.
Not some boss who's like, has nothing to do with my life, doesn't know anything, is just trudging away at another 8-hour job, hates it as much as me. We get drunk at the pub, and he's like, your numbers don't. I'm like, screw you with your numbers. They don't mean anything, really.
That's it.
You know?
That's it.
But not to knock anyone whose life is that. For some people, that's their success, and I'm happy for them.
Yeah. If it is your success.
It's a subjective thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sibs, what's your notion of success?
Please.
Wow.
Wow.
I have a big relationship with that. And I used to be adrenaline junkie.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually like a bit of adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
I still do.
Yeah.
So I do. That's part of success for me. I'm also a risk taker.
Mm-hmm.
I think success to me is the best I could be at anything I do.
Right.
From in my personal life, to my to business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's putting my best foot forward and reaching my goals.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's a little bit more pragmatic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm battling right now in my life a sense of failure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a good relationship with failure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hard on myself as far as if I don't reach what I expect of myself.
Right.
And that's success to me. So if I don't reach that in the time frame even that I would like to reach it, or that I think I could reach it, I don't have a good I have a bad relationship with that. So I'm battling that, and I think a lot of people actually do have that issue with failure.
Yes.
You know, and my definition of failure might not be the same for everybody. It's just if I don't succeed at something that I want, because that's another thing. This might sound really fucked up, but I think I deserve a piece of pie. I think you do.
That's not fucked up at all.
I think you do.
That's the pie is good.
You know what
kind of pie?
I like pie. I love pie.
I like sweet sugar apple with cream.
Yeah, I love pie. I love pie, and I think I deserve it.
You
So
do, girl.
yeah,
You do.
so to me, it's like,
You're very talented.
thank you.
Your work is like incredible. That's what I would
Thank
love
you.
to see more. But you're
when
already doing
I
it.
don't reach that,
Yeah.
I think I'm very hard on myself.
Yeah.
So I put a lot of deadlines on myself. I have a lot of goals, immediate goals, future goals, far future,
Yeah.
closer, and I'm not what I do,
Right.
so that's not a problem there. But it plays a big part, a role in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, like I said, I'm struggling with the whole failure notion.
Right.
I'm not exactly where I want to be in life.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't say I'm successful,
Right.
even personally, because I always think I could do better, even personally.
Yeah.
So every day I learn, every day I better myself, or I try to anyways. So I'm actually trying to figure out what success is right now, because I will never say I'm successful, because there's always room for more. I won't lie. The first things that come to mind when I think success, I do think of my dreams and my goals. Financial, business-wise, personal, all of that. And because I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I don't. I wouldn't say I'm successful yet.
Right.
So yeah, I do. That's my relationship with it. It's a huge part of my life. Huge.
I like something you said about that because there's a conversation I had with a guy, and he was like, "Well, if I'm content where I am, then it means I'm stagnating.
I'm never content." That's the thing.
And I like juggle this thing in my head, and I juggle sometimes what you say in my head. And for me, I don't think it's possible to be content. It's not possible because the fact is I have to always have another breath. Like I'm not going to breathe everything I'm going to breathe in the moment for the rest of my life. I need to have another breath. I need to learn more. I'm always more than what I am.
Yeah,
Every experience I have is more.
Yeah.
And like to not be afraid to expand,
Yeah.
to not be afraid of my natural expansion, natural growth, natural wanting more, natural ideas coming to me and wanting to come to fruition because I feel so insecure in the present. Like for me, if I can be successful, it would be how can I be secure in the present so that no matter what comes at me, I feel like, yeah, I'm turning towards you, not running away from it.
For me, it's achieving. So I think I associate success to achievement.
Right.
So that means in every aspect of my life.
Right.
You know, achieve what I need, what I want, what I desire. That's what I associate success to. So yes, of course, that would also mean financial, you know. So yeah, for me, it would be achievement. And that also means, like I said, personal, socially, business, money, spiritually, my personal life, family. That would be all of it for me. Success for me is achievement.
And I can really, really relate to that.
Yeah.
I can really relate to that. And I feel like I learned a really important lesson, I think, last year because my dream had always been to release and to work on an album, release it, have it out there, and, you know, have people talking about it and do the whole shebang, you know? And last year, I was working on this project. We released an album. People were talking about it. We had articles in the papers. We did some shows in Toronto. We did some shows throughout the city, and
it's on the radio.
We had a song on the radio. We're doing our thing, you know, and music video. Like, I mean, damn, we did the whole thing.
Folks, I'm her manager, so I'm just like,
She's like, that's the experience of success, of achievement.
I can't help it.
But that's it.
She's the shit.
Thank you. You're sweet. But I just learned that, I mean, if I'm not there to appreciate what I am achieving and accomplishing in the moment, then it is never going to be enough. Like I realized, you know, I had reached a dream. Like we're talking about making our dreams come true. My dream came
to that girl.
Thank you.
Yes. To make dreams come true.
No, she produced
with the
produced an album, man.
Thank you.
Lovely, darling.
And she did a damn good job at it.
Thank you. And honestly, I listen back and I'm really proud, and I feel like it's just now that I can really appreciate the fruit of my labor because
That's
at the time,
an achievement.
that's the thing. But at the time, I remember having a moment where I realized, you know what? I made one of my dreams come true. You know, I made one of my dreams come true, but I'm still dissatisfied. In success, I'm definitely just like Sybil. I'm very achievement oriented. I like to see my goals, really concrete results. But at the same time, I also learned that if I'm not there to appreciate, if I don't take a moment to be right there to appreciate what I've done, how far I've come, then no matter what comes my way, and one day I'll be at the Grammys and I'll be upset because I'm not somewhere, I'm not on the moon somewhere throwing a concert for
it's okay, girl. I remind you.
So
but that's what I was saying.
That's it.
I feel you because that's what I was saying. That, you know, once I went through tragedy, that balanced out in the sense that I was like, okay, now I'm able. Okay, I've achieved one goal. I could actually bask in it and appreciate it. And okay, what's the next goal? Before I was exactly the same way. It was like, okay, achieved. Okay, next.
It never ends.
What's the next
I'm
thing?
not like that anymore. I'm more balanced. Thank God.
Right.
You know, even if it's a little goal.
Part of achievement is acknowledging the achievement.
Yeah.
But definitely for me,
That's
achievement.
it.
Achievements are really important, I find, of course. And because they also, to me, what they do is they allow me to remember that I'm capable of doing that.
Right.
When something else comes, I look into my bank of achievements. I'm like, yeah, I did this. I did that.
Mhm.
I am capable of doing that.
You did a shitload of things too, girl.
Thank
Man,
you.
we sitting down with some talented people.
No, but you know what I mean? Do you ladies do that? Like you have
Yeah, I
something
do.
that's coming to you, and it's a big project or it's a big goal, and it's it's scary or it's
Yeah, of
unsettling, and then you go in your
Yes.
memory bank,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, but I tackled that thing.
Yeah.
I tackled this and that before, so I will be okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Assessing?
Yeah.
Assessment.
Yeah, you know what? That's actually one thing my father taught me
Mhm.
that I'm very grateful for. He's like, you always have to take that time to sit down and see how far you came. And I always do that. But, like I said, it like everything else, it's balance.
Yeah.
Just like the balance.
So you
between
don't
work
rest
and
on
play.
your laurels either.
It really, the ebb and flow of life and how there's the peaks and valleys. There's
Yeah.
moments where you're going to be really busy and you
Yeah.
have to make the most of it and turn into a workaholic for those few months or few
Yeah.
weeks.
And I'm not scared
That's
of that.
it.
That's
But I
not
like
okay.
that adrenaline. I do.
That's it.
But when
I'm
you
not
have
gonna
a
lie.
purpose,
Yeah,
That's
I know.
it.
when it's your when
Oh,
you're
yeah,
like,
for sure.
I know why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I know why I'm doing this. I am benefiting.
Or just
from
because
this.
you love it.
That's
Yeah.
it.
But
That
not
would be the
benefiting
reason.
monetarily. It could be just pride. It
That's
could just be
it.
like,
But how much
I'm
is
doing
too
this.
much?
How much is
Too
too much? Hashtag
No, you
how
know
much
what?
is too
You know
much?
what? When you're having you're not sleeping and you're stressed and you have no life and your whole life is work,
Yes.
that's when it's too much.
That's it. And balance.
And and that's what I mean. It's balance. Don't wait till tragedy hits you, people.
That's
I think this is
Yeah.
a nice
Yeah.
segue into our next topic, which is talent versus hard work.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about balance, and it's what's the balance of that?
That's interesting because a few years ago, someone was saying to me how they were always feeling like they were a fraud,
Okay.
and I could really understand their feelings. Like they were doing this thing, they had this natural, unique talent, but they would get approached to do something, and they would be like, "I shouldn't do it because I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have this." And they're gonna think I'm a fraud. And when they said that, I was like, I understand that way too well. Hard work, talent, I don't know.
Well,
I just felt
especially
to go there.
I find that what you're saying is true, especially in, I would say, the arts.
Right.
Because it's so subjective, and it's like some people went to school for years and then trainings and this and that and that, and other people, they just show up.
Yeah.
And I think that both are important, talent and hard work, of course. But at some point, you can have a person that is not, that person isn't shit at the thing that they're doing,
Yeah.
but they're not as naturally talented as, person A. But if they work hard, if they do those 10,000 hours, like we said, to become an expert, and the naturally talented person hasn't, it's like it's going to meet at a point. And the person that put more work can keep going.
But do you know what? Talent, obviously, when we think talent, obviously, we think artistically first.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's talent in business.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
also some talent.
And the thing that I found,
Mhm.
I grew up in a business environment. And by no means am I saying not to go to school or university. That is not what I'm going to say.
I like school.
But I'm going to say this. Sometimes you have a natural talent or knack for something.
Yeah.
And there is no school
That's gonna
or
teach you.
diploma that's going to teach you that.
Mhm.
And the best businessmen that I've seen
Mhm.
actually did not go into business administration.
Mhm.
Okay? Some people slept in cars and
Mhm.
became millionaires.
Mhm.
And they were talented at something.
Mhm.
It goes hand in hand because they worked hard
Mhm.
at their talent. They were talented at something initially,
Yeah.
but they worked hard to achieve.
Yeah.
It's like the pursuit of happiness.
Pursuit of happiness,
With
but
Will
even
Smith.
if you see a lot of these millionaires,
Right.
Yeah.
it's you
I
are-
dropped out.
Yeah, no, you have
Yeah.
a talent to begin with, and then if you put in the work and the perseverance,
Mhm.
you will achieve. So I think those are like three things that go together. Actually,
That's it.
well, four:
Right.
talent, work hard,
Mhm.
achieve, success.
Mm-hmm.
I like what you're saying.
And once you do all four,
Mhm.
money will come.
I don't know.
So
where
there you go.
I hear you with that, and I'm gonna take that down
What
and
a
take
formula.
those notes later on. The formula.
But it is a formula, though.
But it's like
it is
having the confidence.
Yeah,
Also,
you can't give up.
The
That's
confidence
the
of like someone who doesn't have the school, because school will give you the credentials, which will say, okay, you have the right to walk in the
depends
door.
what you're doing. Of course, if you're going to be a surgeon, you better.
Yeah, you better go to school.
That's
Unless you are so in touch with the human body, you come from another planet.
No. You're not operating on me. But I'm just saying, if you're gonna do business, you don't necessarily need a diploma. Absolutely not.
No. I just feel like some people may have a talent. This guy has a talent. He's a great.
He knows a lot of people.
He's a producer, but he won't allow himself to be called that. He makes amazing beats, like amazing. You sit with him, and you're like, dude, like that was fantastic. 3 minutes and 13 seconds of my life well spent. You know? And he will say, yeah, well, when I do this a little bit more, then I'm gonna. And he's been I'm gonna for as long as I've sat with him in his studio.
Biggest enemy of success.
Biggest enemy of his success, because he doesn't feel confident to do it.
But that's the thing. That I'm realizing also that you can make fear your ally. Whenever I feel fear somewhere, I'm like, okay, this is where I'm feeling a little insecure.
Right.
How can I move through this? How can I say, you know what, fear? It's all good. You're there.
How can you befriend
How can I be like, you know what? You're a real thing right now, even though you're not real. Mm-hmm. You're in my life, and I feel you, and you're affecting this and this and this.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna keep going though. So, I mean, I wish you well.
Are you gonna stick around?
I hope you disappear.
You have a nice approach. I tell him to get the fuck out.
That's it. Get the hell out of here.
Intruder.
No, but sometimes.
Intruder. Alarm.
But that's it. But the thing
fear is not
that,
always a bad thing.
But that's it, because sometimes, I mean, I've had moments where I just try to ignore my fear and just plow ahead.
That's
and get
adrenaline
wet.
too, is the fear.
Because I realized this also, say, as a singer, just comparing myself to artists that I see out there right now, you know, first of all, as myself, yes, I was born with certain talents. And I agree with you, Sybil. Hard work, it's not versus. It comes together. Hard work. If you hone your talents, then down the line it's going to pay off. It has to.
But
I also agree with Diane when you're saying that there are people who are out there right now doing their thing, and it's not necessarily because they're the best artist out there, the best singer, the best whatever, but they're putting in the work. And there might be someone sitting in their basement right now who's the next Michael Jackson, but we'll never know, because
that's also called marketing, though.
But that's it. There's so much. There's so much that comes into it. So
that's just marketing. A lot of people, like you're talking about, sitting in your basement with your talent, not even doing anything about it. It's just dead potential.
That's it.
It's like, you know, you were great. It's like, oh my God, you know, when people are like, oh my God, you were in high school, and people are like, oh yeah, you're gonna be the next blah blah blah.
But that's why I said
you
goes
didn't do
hand in
anything.
hand.
Yeah,
that's why I said it goes hand in hand. You have the talent, then you have to work hard.
You do.
You have to work. You're not gonna just sit there, like you said, Dee, sit in your basement with that talent and rot there, and nobody knows you're talented.
A lot of people
Exactly.
do that.
You could be the next Michael Jackson. If you're sitting in that basement and you're not doing nothing about it,
if you're not working for it, then guess what? We're not going to know.
Well, somebody else will do it.
Well, this person that I know, for example, he goes to work, he has this job, and like, I don't know, $20 an hour. But he goes in, he puts in like 8-9 hours a day, and then he puts his money away to do XYZ. But he sits in the studio, and every day that I know about his life, to the best of my knowledge, he puts in 3, 4, 5 hours time in the studio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Respect.
Girl, but yo.
Maybe one day he's going to wake up and be like, yo.
But it's been 12 years, right?
Oh,
but for me, I have no judgment on that, because for all I know, maybe the reason why all of his life has come together to allow him to do that is so that maybe XYZ down the line, one day he can come out and do this.
That's it.
It doesn't matter if he makes this big album. Maybe he will end up teaching somebody.
Who knows?
But so long as he feels happy.
Yeah.
However, when I speak with him, he's happy with his life.
Yeah,
then it's all that matters.
He's happy with his life. He's like keeping it real. Like, I was like, you know, you're being scared to put your stuff out. Your stuff is awesome. Yeah, he acknowledges it, but he's happy there. He's like, I'm okay.
Oh, but you know, hold on.
I'm always sad when I see people that are very talented. I'm going to include myself in this. that are very talented and they're not doing something with their talent, you know, because sometimes it's like it doesn't have to be money oriented in the sense that if you have a talent, keep at it. Who knows what will come from it?
Exactly.
You know, you don't know.
You don't have to connect the dots.
And the only reason I'm saying that is that, you know, I'm looking at that paint over there and I know I should be painting.
And you will be painting.
But I want to say something about if you have a talent. If you have a talent and doing that thing makes you happy. Because sometimes you have a talent, but you don't give a shit about it. You're like, yo, that thing comes easy to me, but I don't care. I don't want to do that.
That's it.
You know? And then the whole world is like, no, you should do that because you're good. And people struggle to get to where you are. And you're like, I'm sorry, I don't care.
That's it. I wasn't really good. I was a damn good telemarketer. I was telling Sybil about it. Hell, that was my first job. I was sitting there. You're in that little booth. You're talking to strangers all day. And they brought me t-shirts that light up with all that like fancy sci-fi shit going on. They gave me certificates. They gave me little like trophies and stuff. My friends were like, what the hell do you do to these people on the phone? I'm like, I don't know. But I had to.
It was a thing.
I was so miserable there. But I was so good at my job, but I hated it. And I remember when I quit. It was one of the best days of my life. And the dude was like, please, like, but how can you? I mean, you're so good at it. And I was like, so what?
There's a difference between being good at things and having a talent, a gift. I think, like, for instance, you, Asa, you're absolutely gifted for singing.
Thank you.
You're gifted with that. So, I mean, that's a gift, though. You could be talented at many, many things. Some things you won't like, some things you will like. But your gift. Usually, we do like our gift, but it's funny the relationship we have with it because even myself, or I think about people around me, I love writing. I love painting. They're talents, they're gifts. And I was very shy about it, and I'm not doing probably what I should do about it. And it's not that I don't want to, it's that there's a fear there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny the relationship we have with our
gifts
and our talents.
Yes.
Many times, you know?
It's knowing the potential, like, so much as there's fear of failure, there's also fear of actually, you know,
doing it.
tapping into your full
so that's
potential.
where I'm going to plug my thing.
Please.
So,
Everybody listen. Get ready with your hashtag.
No, but I read this book called The Big Leap by Gay and Hendricks. And the theory behind it is that we all have like a threshold. There's like a point of success that we can't pass in our minds. You know what I mean? Like if we go back to people winning the lottery, you know? It's like, let's say you used to make $70,000 a year, you win $43 million, and you don't have an advisor, and then you go crazy, and within 5 years, you're right back to making $70,000, if not less. It's because it's your mindset. It's like a switch. You're switched to be at that point. You know? No, but that's the theory behind it. Okay? And that's just the example for money. You know, but it could be for anything because we have all these how can I say this, like beliefs and notions and programs over the years that you're like, you know, you're trying to change your mindset, but you go right back to it, you know. So the big leap, what it says, it's to kind of show you that you have those programs, you have those, you know, maximum limit points, you know, and it's like about going above that, about, you know, stepping beyond that. Yeah. But in order to step beyond that, you have to be aware
of your limitations.
Yeah, exactly. It's limitations that we put on ourselves.
That's it, and it ties into fear. That's what I was trying to say with befriending your fear and not making it the enemy so that you can get closer to it so that eventually you have control over it. It's not controlling you.
And an interesting thing in the book, it says knowing what you're good at, but also what you're not good at. Yeah. And what you're not interested in doing. Yeah. You know? And he gives a fun example about like one of his like neighbors that's like a millionaire and his printer's not working and he's like, he sucks at technology, you know? And he spends something like 6-7 hours trying to fix the printer. And he's like, yo, just ask the kid around the corner. The kid comes 20 minutes, boom, printer on. Done.
Yeah. Done. I think honestly, conclusion, I think that it's all about self-awareness. Yeah. It really is. No matter what success is for you as a definition or where you're at with money, your relationship with it, success, whatever. I think it's about self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's where you're at, understanding where you're at, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what your relationship is with things,
Accepting
and
it.
what your relationship is with yourself.
And what your needs are.
Yeah,
Be
but-
honest about
And
that.
But
get
your
that
relationship-
financial knowledge, though.
Yeah, but the relationship with yourself, that's the key.
And that's it. And you
Because
cannot.
that's what's gonna
Drive everything.
Drive everything. Your mind state, what you desire, the adrenaline to go get it, whatever it is for you. It's all about your relationship with yourself. So to me, at the end of the day, it's about self-awareness.
That's it.
Yeah.
And not letting anyone else dictate what
It's true
success
for you.
is
It's
meant to
supposed
be. Exactly. And that's it. You need to be aware because or else you'll be swayed. People will come in and tell
Self-awareness.
you what's good for you, what's not good for you, and in the end, you're the one dealing with your decisions.
Mhm.
So
Right.
own up to it, know yourself, own it.
Well, I'd like to offer this on our way out. I had a dream when I was younger. I had a dream.
Mhm.
And it was
That's important.
And
Yeah.
it was just essentially
That's where it starts.
from a very general point of view, was using all these things that were my interests and doing them. And one of my interests that was big was helping people or speaking truths that as I was learning, just generally learning. And in my head, it was like, I cannot see a way in which I can essentially continue to learn and be in school and make money. It doesn't make any sense. And I found a girl who was doing exactly that.
Mhm.
It was exactly that. And it was because I was afraid to go ahead and just do it because I thought I would be wrong.
Yeah.
And there's a quote by Seth Godin who has he said it was the most popular blog on the internet led by one person who was writing for it. Seth Godin, he wrote the Icarus Deception. Amazing book if you want to think about success and what's holding you back. And he said, the secret to being wrong isn't to avoid being wrong. The secret is being willing to be wrong. The secret is realizing that wrong isn't fatal.
Yeah.
And there's more where he says, if you are deliberately trying to create a future that feels safe, you will willfully ignore the future that is likely. If I hadn't allowed myself to dip the toe in saying, I want to be okay, but I want to try this, I wouldn't be sitting here.
Mhm.
And I think that for me, what we're doing is success.
Yes.
I'm going to finish it with the quote
do.
of actually my PR firm,
Please do.
which is my slogan, actually. It's dream it, live it.
Dream it.
Dream
live
it, live it.
Yeah.
You guys listening at home or on the bus or wherever you are having your little morning coffee or jogging. I don't know
Or
what
having
you're
a drink.
having a drink.
Cleaning
How about
your
that?
house.
Exactly.
Get
You
a
guys,
good speaker, plug it in.
Yeah.
we're wondering, what does success mean to you? Please write us. Let us know. It's always inspiring to
What
hear
are
from you
your
guys.
dreams?
Mhm.
Exactly. And I mean, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to this conversation.
Yeah.
Ladies around the table, I love you so much. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing your
All hearts
insights.
and love.
And please tune in for the next episode of Let's Talk About It.
Talk about it.